Mozi for 176 or for 80 BC to 390 or for 20 BC, also known as Modi, was a native of the Song state during the Chinese late spring and autumn period and early warring states period. He was a descendant of the Song nobles and served as a minister of Song. He was a great thinker, educator, scientist, military strategist in ancient China, and the founder and main representative of the Mohist school. Mozi proposed the viewpoints of love indifferently and universally, refrain from aggression, advocates true virtues, cherish and strive for unification under the same vision, the will and power of heaven, understanding ghosts, the unseens, non-fatalism, refrain from musical entertaining and amusement, advocates simple burials, and restricting from wastages and excessive spending, with universal love as the core. In addition to the ideology of restricting from wastages, excessive luxuries and advocates true virtues as the pillars, he established a whole set of philosophical and scientific theories with outstanding achievements in geometry, physics, and optics. Mozi's theory of non-fatalism and universal love is in opposition to the Confucian heavenly destiny and differential love. He believes that officials are not automatically higher in class, and people are not born as lower class, and requires that the hungry get food, the cold get clothes, and the tired get rest. The so-called universal love includes the meaning of equality and love indifferently. All Mozi's advocations sound very familiar to Muslims who had learned Islam. Mozi advocates, all people, regardless of age, nobleness or humbleness, are servant of God, and God loves humans deeply. If the monarch violates God's will, he will be punished by God, otherwise, he will be rewarded by God. Mozi not only firmly believes in the existence of the unseens, but also believes that God will reward good and punish evil for all humans according to what they have done in the world. The idea of natural human rights and restraining monarchs in Mozi's religious philosophy is a highlight of Mozi's ideologies. Mozi was extremely opposed to music and believed that people's lifespan, wealth, poverty, and the safety and order of the world were not determined by fate. He advocated that as long as people make positive efforts, they can achieve the goals of wealth, honor, peace and order. Mozi opposed the Confucian saying that life and death are determined by fate, and wealth and honor are determined by heaven, believing that this saying exaggerates fate to teach the people to be passively accepting their classes and fates while do not do anything to try to change it. Mozi advocated peace, and he believed that all wars fought during his eras in ancient China were predatory and unjust wars. In the chapters of Against Offensive Aggression, he repeatedly advocated the righteousness of non-aggression and believed that war was a terrible thing. Mozi also resolutely and ruthlessly exposed the heavy and endless disasters that the war brought to the people at that time. 1. It delayed the farming season and destroyed production. 2. It robbed wealth and gain without working. 3. It killed innocent people and enslaved them unjustly. Mozi discussed the issue of how a smaller country can actively defend itself. Mozi knew that the monarchs of grander nations would not give up aggressions just by talking or reasoning to them, so he advocated comprehensive planning and preparation for defense, and through active defense to stop aggressive wars in which the stronger countries invade the weaker ones. Mozi is one of the important pioneers of the ancient Chinese logical thought system. Mozi's logic, Yinming and ancient Greek logic are known as the three major logics in the world. He consciously and extensively used the method of logical inference to establish or prove his political and ethical ideas. Mozi believed that the universe is a continuous whole, and the individual or part is divided from this unified whole and is a component of this unified whole. In other words, the whole contains the individual, and the whole is composed of the individual, and there is an inevitable organic connection between the whole and the individual. Mozi was the first mathematician in Chinese history to treat mathematical problems from a rational perspective. He gave a series of propositions and definitions of mathematical concepts, all of which were highly abstract and rigorous. The mathematical concepts given by Mozi mainly include double, same length, center, circle, square, straight line, etc. Mozi's research on physics involved branches such as mechanics, optics, and acoustics. He gave many definitions of physical concepts, made many important discoveries, and summarized some important physical theorems. Mozi pointed out that when an object is subjected to a force, it also produces a reaction force. For example, when two objects of equal mass collide, the two objects will move in opposite directions. Mozi also gave the definition of movement and stop. He believed that movement is due to the force pushing, and more importantly, the stopping of the object's movement comes from the effect of resistance and impedance. If there is no resistance, the object will move forever. This view is more than 1,000 years earlier than Newton's law of inertia, and it is a symbol of the birth and development of ancient Chinese physics. Mozi was well known for his great skills in designing and making defending tools and weaponries at his time. Mozi also made a brilliant statement about the lever theorem. He pointed out that the reason why the lever is balanced when weighing objects is that the base is short and the bearing is long. In addition, Mozi also conducted a series of research on mechanical problems such as levers, inclined planes, center of gravity, rolling friction, etc. Mozi was well known for his great skills in designing and making defending tools and weaponries at his time. Mozi was good at defending cities. When he and Gong Shu Ban were conducting offensive and defensive exercises to stop Chu from attacking Song, he fully demonstrated his talent and accomplishments in this area. It was known that he spent 3 years carefully developing a flying wooden bird kite, paper kite to be flied by a human to spy on the enemy's activities from a bird view angle. It was the first attempt in humanity history to fly to the sky according to the recorded history. He was also an expert in making vehicles, and could build a vehicle with a load capacity of 1.5 ton in less than a day. In the history of optics, Mozi was the first scientist to conduct optical experiments and systematically study geometric optics. Through the pinhole imaging experiment, he clearly pointed out that light propagates in a straight line and the image of an object through a pinhole is an inverted image. What is particularly valuable is that Mozi conducted a fairly systematic study of plane mirrors, concave mirrors, convex mirrors, etc., and derived a series of basic principles of geometric optics. Mozi pointed out that plane mirrors form images of the same size and symmetrical near and far, but they are reversed left and right. If two or more plane mirrors are facing each other, repeated reflections will occur, forming countless images. Mozi also studied the propagation of sound and found that wells and jars can amplify sound, and he made clever use of them. He once taught his students that when defending a city, in order to prevent the enemy from digging tunnels to attack the city, a well should be dug every 30 feet, and a large jar should be placed in the well. In addition, a thin cowhide should be stretched over the mouth of the jar, and people with good hearing should lie on the jar to listen, so as to monitor whether the enemy is digging a tunnel and where the tunnel is dug, so as to prepare to resist the enemy.